Are you ready? Yes. Are you ready?
So today we're pulling the cork on Jeff Miller, who is the owner, partner, and head of winemaking operations for Artisan Family of Wines in Napa, California. They offer 4 different wines under 3 different labels. We're going to have Jeff chat about that a little bit. So welcome to Pulling the Cork, Jeff. How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you?
I am excellent. Thank you very much. Jeff, tell me a little bit about Artisan Family of Wines and how you came to be owner, partner, and head of winemaking operations there.
Well, we're a really small company, and actually right now there's really only 2 of us who are active in running the company, myself and Richard Burnley, who gets involved in the winemaking some, but he's primarily on the marketing and sales side. Mm-hmm. We have vineyards primarily in Sassoon Valley, which is just east of Napa. And I live in Napa County, but Sassoon Valley is maybe 5 miles from here. That's where our vineyards are. We have essentially 2 different vineyards in different parts of the valley. Primarily what we're doing is from our own vineyards right now, though we have produced wine from Lake County, which is the Sly Dog Cellars Cabernet. But that is not our own vineyards. It's a very good vineyard, but it's not ours.
Okay, super. What are the origins of the Artisan name?
It was really something Richard liked very much, and since he was in charge of marketing, I certainly had no problem with it, so we went with it. And Artisans is our probably flagship label as far as that's where we try to put the best of what we have from our Sassoon Valley vineyards.
How did you guys come together, you and Richard? How did that whole partnership evolve and start?
Well, we've been friends for a long time. I moved to Napa in 1994. Met Richard maybe 5 years later. There was just kind of our local clique of friends. It kind of just morphed from being a friendship into, we could start a wine label. Richard has a lot of experience in the wine and spirits business on the marketing side. He's been doing it for a long time. I had been very interested in wine all my life, essentially. When I got here, we built a new house and put in a vineyard. When I put in the vineyard, I decided I needed to learn about first viticulture and then enology. And so that's how I got started. And from there, we just kind of rolled with it. We hired a winemaker who we used for several years. Now I've just pretty much taken over all the winemaking.
Gotcha.
So that's how it came about.
So you were an attorney originally, correct?
Yes, I'm still an attorney.
You still are an attorney, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So what sparked your interest and love affair with wine in the first place?
That's going back like 30 years. Probably in my early 20s, I very rarely drank wine, and then at some point, I just tasted something that knocked my socks off, and, just from there, I started getting more and more interested in it. Before too long, I was probably drinking wine almost every day. Once you get into it, it's a fascinating subject. There's so many different styles of wine. There's so many different ways of doing it. There's some things you can do with wine that are just plain wrong, but so much of what you do with wine, there's no right or wrong. It's personal preference. And you find what you like, and it's interesting to see what you like, see how it compares with what other people like and dislike. And, as far as beverages go, there's no beverage that comes close to being as interesting and as complex as wine is.
So what was it that converted you from consumer and passionate enophile into passionate winemaker?
It was kind of happenstance that we had moved here, and on our property we had a fairly small house, and We wanted to build a nicer house, and when we did, we wanted to put in a small vineyard. Putting in that vineyard, rather than just relying upon other people to do it, I wanted to understand what was involved in putting in a vineyard, why you did the things you did, why you picked the variety that you did, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I just started taking classes at Napa Valley College, which has one of the best viticulture and enology programs in the country. I realized I had a vineyard. Before too long I was going to have grapes, and if I was going to do anything with them, I needed to figure out how to make wine. So I started taking the winemaking classes as well, and before you know it, you're doing it.
Yeah.
And there's not a huge difference between making small amounts of wine and big amounts of wine. The process is essentially, if not identical, very similar.
3 minutes and we're out of here.